Do you struggle with negative thoughts? Do you feel fear, worry, or anxiety consistently? And are these negative thoughts stopping you from living your best life? If you said yes to any of these questions, you're in the right place. In this video, I'll share a simple tool that will help you get rid of these negative thoughts. And I've tried and tested this tool, and I assure you it works. Hi everyone, my name is Kiran and welcome to my channel where I talk about mindfulness, emotional resilience and spirituality. Now, even until 3 years ago, I struggled a lot with negative thoughts. I mean, it was just off the charts. And at that time, I used to wonder, is it even possible to get rid of these negative thoughts? Like, what do you do when your mind is not on your side? And why having a daily meditation practice was like a lifesaver, and still is, but what really helped me get a breakthrough and get to the root cause of these negative thoughts was the concept called the negative ego. So this is the part of the ego that keeps us stuck in fear and negative emotions. So your ego is your current identity. As in this life, my name is Kiran. I have certain likes, certain dislikes, and preferences. And this is the part of the ego that separates me from another person and gives me a sense of individuality. Now, inherent in this ego is another part called the negative ego. And this is a part that is responsible for fears, for worries, anxieties, and all the other negative emotions that we rather not feel. Now, to give you a visual of what I have just shared, I'm going to draw a house to depict the ego, and I'll make different rooms in this house to depict different parts of the ego. So let's say this room represents your likes, this one your dislikes, this room represents your preferences, and all these rooms together, they make you, as in this is what defines your uniqueness. Now let's make another room to depict the negative ego, and I'm going to color this room black because this is the part of the ego that makes you feel fear of being vulnerable, fear of being a failure, all your worries, anxieties. Let's say all these negative thought patterns are coming from this place. So to get rid of negative thoughts and your fears is like saying we need to clear or we need to remodel this part of the house. Now, part of the reason why as humans we struggle with negative thoughts is because we are not able to separate ourselves from our thoughts, as in we become one with them. Instead of saying I'm feeling angry, as in acknowledging that you have a negative thought, we say I am angry, as in I'm one with my anger. I hope you notice the subtle difference here. Now, for visual reference, let's say this bowl represents you and this water represents your fears. Now, I'm going to fill this bowl with this water. Now, anytime you feel fear, you think you are your fears, as in you have become one with them. Anytime you feel fear, you think you are your fears, not realizing that anytime you can choose to empty this bowl and separate yourself from your fears. And so the very first step in getting rid of your negative thoughts is that you relabel your thoughts. Remember this image that I showed you earlier in the video where we said all your fears are coming from this place? Now, to relabel your thoughts, you can say something as simple as this fear, as in whatever fear you are feeling, is my negative ego, as in this fear is coming from the negative ego. This is not the real me. Now, relabeling your thoughts means that you'll have to constantly monitor your thoughts, and this is the work that no one can do for you. Now, when you start relabeling your thoughts, after a while, you will start to feel distinctly in a very tangible way that you are truly not your thoughts. Now, the cornerstone of my meditation practice is clearing the negative ego. So remember this visual I showed you a moment ago? So, my meditation practice is clearing this part of the ego structure. And to do that, one of my core spiritual practices is called disidentification exercise. So, wherein every single day I say out loud, I have thoughts, but I am not my thoughts. If I have not yet developed mastery, my thoughts are sometimes positive and sometimes negative. As I become a master of my life, this will change. My true nature is unchangeable. I am the eternal self. Now, this may sound a bit esoteric, but as you start to say these words every single day out loud, eventually you start to feel the power and the truth of these words. And you start to come to this realization that yes, you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. In the description below, I've put a link to an article on disidentification exercise, so feel free to check it out. The next thing you want to do when feeling negative thoughts is get away from the situation or the place that triggered you. Like maybe you go to the next room, or you go to a coffee shop or a park, whatever your situation permits. Because the change in the scenery will always help you give a new perspective. Like when I am super stressed and I am having constant looping thoughts of fear or anxiety, I almost always go out for a long walk. Other times I choose to listen to some music, and between these two activities, they always help me clear my head. Now, as you're contemplating on, say, on a long walk, reflect upon how much power you have given to this thought form and how it is impacting your life. I know it sounds ridiculously simple, but yet we hardly ever take time to reflect upon how much power we have given to these negative thoughts and how they are literally dictating our life. And finally, to get rid of your negative thoughts, ask help from God, universe, your higher self, spirit, whatever you believe in, to help you refocus these negative thoughts. My teacher often jokes that it is not God's job to control your mind, and it is something that you must do for yourself. Now, in the description below, I've put a link to an article from where I sourced this content, and it includes these 5 steps to refocus your negative thoughts. So feel free to check out that article. And finally, one thing I cannot stress enough is that it is a consistent daily practice that will give you the results that you're looking for. Where eventually, as you do this exercise, you will gain dominion over your mind, where you start to feel, where you start to know, experience that yes, you are not your thoughts, that yes, you are not your emotions. I hope these suggestions were helpful. As always, please only take what resonates, discard the rest. Thank you so much for your time today. I will see you next Tuesday with a new video. And until then, have a beautiful rest of the week.